Hello, welcome to CAVI Collaborators, a series of virtual roundtables aimed at showcasing the collaborative relationships between the Department of Transport and Main Roads and our partners in the Cooperative and Automated Vehicle Initiative, which is also known as CAVI. I'm Anne-Marie Knox, Executive Director, Safe Roads Infrastructure, and I'm joined today by Dennis Walsh, TMR's Chief Engineer, as well as representatives from two of CAVI's project partners, Evan Dean, Team Leader, Business Improvement, Motor Accident Insurance Commission, and Leanne Breger, Program Director, iMove. Both MACE and iMove play a vital role in providing ongoing support to the project. But Dennis, you were on CAVI from the outset. When exactly did the collaborative relationship start?
Oh, look, Anne-Marie, I think in terms of looking back to the origins of this, probably the working around a ITS roadmap or a piece of work that was looking at what does the future of technology look like in terms of supporting road safety outcomes. And that was a piece of work that I did initially with Graham Frayne, with Jeff McDonald being a major collaborator on that. And that was really to try and give us a view going forward of what's this technology offer us, and how can it make a difference to safety outcomes in particular, noting that there are other outcomes. And then along the way there, I think what we did was we reached out to logical partners and thought, well, who else can make a contribution here? And I'm really going back to 2014, 2015 sort of time period. And we've got a really good, solid, ongoing relationship with the Motor Accident Insurance Commission. So clearly, reaching out to MACE was part of our agenda, and we're all looking at similar outcomes in terms of safety and trying to reduce the road toll. And then I can't remember the exact date, Leanne, but iMove came on the scene, and that was after several attempts of trying to get a cooperative research centre underway nationally. But fortunately, iMove got up and running and provided a great opportunity for us to partner more broadly and at a national level. So I'd say there was over a period of time that we really grew the genesis of CAVI from that period in 2014 through to 2016.
So TMR is a key supporter of iMove from 2017, and we sort of currently have four shared and RCVP projects in flight. There are 5 others that are unrelated. The collaboration is very strong because those projects are multi-year and very, very large. So the involvement that we have with TMR on an ongoing basis is quite a close relationship. And yes, it's been well embedded from 2017. So it's very, very active. There are other projects where we aren't as active. We take more of a governance role rather than as direct, but with TMR, we do collaborate very strongly.
I think we're a contributing partner in terms of funding. So we are providing some funding for the project through our grants programs and working very closely keep with the project, with me being on the board. So in terms of how this collaboration works compared to other collaborations, I think it's a very close collaboration. Probably some of our other grants programs, certainly we have plenty of grants programs where we don't go on the board, but this one is a very exciting and significant project with a huge scale. So it's something that we are really trying to learn from. So I think we're getting quite heavily involved in this one.
Dennis, I know our DG Neil Scales makes a direct connection between CAVI and improving road safety. Can you talk more about the objectives of CAVI in relation to road safety?
Yeah, thanks, Anne-Marie. Look, as I alluded to in the opening comments, CAVI for us represents a paradigm shift in terms of what we need to achieve in road toll terms. And for us, the road toll has historically come down over a long period of time. So we used to have up around 30 fatal crashes or loss of life per 100,000 population. That's come down enormously over time, and we're down around 5 or 6. it's still too many on our road network. And that's not to talk about the, 30 odd thousand people that visit hospital each year nationally as a result of road trauma. So there's a very direct connection between what this technology offers in terms of improving road safety performance. And if we think about road safety, we think about the safe system. We think about speed, the infrastructure, the vehicle and the user. And the way I think about this connected and automated vehicle technology is that it's actually a bit of a glue that brings all of those together. If you think about it, that technology can enable a much better performance of all those elements of the safe system. So CAVI is very exciting. It's going to be a long journey. I'm not fooling anyone here that this technology is going to happen overnight. But I think because of our partners in iMove and MACE, we are able to do those preparatory works, the groundworks that are required, that will be required over the next decades to embed this technology and get it working for us in terms of safer outcomes on the network.
Thanks, Dennis. Leanne, what about you? What are you most excited about moving forward?
Definitely the safety aspects, as Dennis just said. Also the prospect of taking what Queensland is doing and helping get that out to the rest of the country. Queensland is very, very sort of ahead of the game in that regard and doing some very advanced aspects to this project. And being part of that is fantastic. A lot of the relationships and the collaboration comes from getting on particularly well with people, having very combined objectives, wanting to make positive improvements and impacts going forward. And once again, reiterating, being able to take that, we're a national body, and being able to take that to other states and to other transport authorities, and try and take what's happening in Queensland via TMR, more broadly, is definitely something that we champion.
Thanks, Leanne. Evan?
I think it seems clear that the potential for these technologies to reduce crashes, the incidents and the severity, the potential there is huge. And we've got the perspective of the compulsory third party scheme. So we're interested in fatalities, but we're also interested, of course, in injuries and in how severe those injuries are and in ongoing treatment options. So interconnected vehicles with the reduction in crashes, but also a lot of other things that come with it, like the ability to issue notifications when an accident occurs, when a crash occurs. There's lots of benefits that we see coming down the pipe from this kind of technology. So this project accelerates the adoption of that in Queensland, we expect, sees us moving along fast, getting to a point where we understand it sooner.
This is a question for all of you. What aspects of CAVI do you think are of national significance and importance?
So one of the aspects is the security credential management system. That's one of the projects that we're working very closely with TMR on. It's to develop through field operations a protocol that will make that secure messaging, establish that protocol, and that has national significance and can be used across the country once it's implemented and trialed. And that has been a very successful project, and we're actually in the process of meeting with our key contact on that later on in the week to look at how we extend that work beyond the successful implementation of that initial project. So it does have national significance.
Thanks, Leanne. Evan, I'll go to you now.
Yeah, but I was lucky enough to go to Shayla Park, just out in Brisbane, and experience the Zoe 2, the highly automated vehicle that's been developed by French consortium working with Queensland, and it was a very positive experience. It was a really enjoyable drive. I was amazed really by how far they'd come in such a short space of time and what this vehicle could do. I had a really positive drive where the the controller didn't need to do anything or take back control. It handled the trip very, very, very well. So I expect that will be of great national significance. Seeing how that demonstration went, seeing how that vehicle has been performing, I'm very impressed by that. The interconnected side is extremely important as well, and we see the ability for the enhanced safety messaging, which we're going to be trialing soon. That ability is going to have great ramifications for road safety.
Thanks, Evan. Over to you, Dennis.
Yeah, just building on what both Leanne and Evan said, I think probably for me, the Shayla Park was really a first in Australia. A vehicle that essentially meets all the Australian design rules, that was travelling on public road up to 50 kilometres an hour, was really a demonstration to the public how far this technology has come. But I think for the people behind the scenes, it also demonstrated just how much we've still got to do for that to become ubiquitous across the network in terms of that capability. So it was a great learning experience. I likened it to putting the first man on the moon in some sense, in terms of what went on behind the scenes. It seems trivial when you're actually, to some extent, experiencing that drive, but all the technology and efforts by all of our partners to make that happen were enormous behind the scenes. In terms of national significance, I think in terms of the connected vehicle work, I think the foundation piece that we started with, which was a business case that Miranda Blogg, our director, led, that was a centerpiece of laying the foundations for us to move forward. And that business case was actually innovation in motion, really, because it was predicated on traditional business cases used for infrastructure projects, but it was applied to something entirely new and different. And it still demonstrated the benefits that we can get from this technology investment, and at relatively modest investments by government and even consumers. So I thought that was excellent. And probably the other major contribution at a national level from my perspective is our commitment to European standards. We all know that Australia takes most of its vehicle fleet based on European specification. So over 95% of the vehicle fleet is to European specification. It makes entire sense for Australia to follow the approaches that are being used in Europe. And so one of the really, I suppose, fundamental principles that's underpinned our development and deployment that's about to occur in Ipswich has been that commitment to the European standards. And the team have done an excellent job there. And it demonstrates that you can actually take the standards and put them in practice and work with all the partners that are involved. And these are partners we haven't worked with before. So there's been a huge learning exercise there, both in industry and ourselves, on how to make that ecosystem work. But we'll be able to demonstrate very shortly it can work. And that gives great confidence, I think, for the nation that this is achievable. Other states can work with us. We're very open to being collaborative with other states to set the groundwork so that vehicle manufacturers, when they put this technology in their vehicles, and they are starting to do that, we know VW are doing that with the Golf in Europe, that when they come to Australia as an offering, that we don't get that technology switched off. It's an option to go into our vehicles so that Australians can realise those safety benefits.
Well put, Dennis. And certainly congratulations to Miranda and the CAVI team for coming as far as they have come. When you're in the delivery, you just see problem after problem after problem after problem. But we keep our eye on the prize, which is road safety, and really just to date, there's been enormous achievements in terms of the deliverables for CAVI, as I'm sure you would all agree. So, what do you believe has been the most rewarding aspect of the CAVI delivery for you?
One of the things that I've found rewarding, aside from the vehicle technology and the safety stuff that we've been talking about, one of the things I've found really useful and interesting is just to observe such a large scale project from close up. So it's not just what the project's doing and what the project's achieving, but it's methodologies that the project's doing and the way the project is running with so many moving parts, and trying to do something out on the cutting edge, and the way and the problems that have come up and the way the project has dealt with that. So that's been a great learning for me. It's great for mates to collaborate, and to get to see such sort of big pieces of work coming through.
I have to absolutely wholeheartedly support what Evan just said. It's been a real privilege, and we look forward to moving forward and really getting over issues that arise in the usual course of delivery, and having wonderful success going forward. But yes, it's an absolute privilege to be part of it.
And I'd just add to that the old saying, a problem shared is a problem halved. Working with our partners, and there's many of them, that's the way you solve these really complex problems, and you work your way through them. And I think the CAVI environment as a whole, our partners and our team, they've co-located, they've solved those problems, and they work through those problems. And that's what collaboration is about in my mind.
To those watching at home or in the office, if you have any questions for Dennis, Evan, or Leanne, or myself, feel free to comment below on this video or via contact CAVI at tmr.qld.gov.au. Thank you everyone for your time. It's been fantastic. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anne-Marie.